Hey, 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 happy Monday, and welcome to this episode of Monday Night Live, a time I connect with you every Monday, 7 p.m. EST, to align biblical principles with your entrepreneurial journey. I wonder if you realize that God created you to profit, that He created you with some specific kingdom work to do. And my hair, I'll tell you why my hair is all over the place in a second. That helps to bring the kingdom here on earth. I'm always excited, blessed, and humbled to get to share with you in this way. So, this episode is being pre recorded. It's actually, listen, I just walked in the house from church. So, I'm pre recording it on Sunday. And the reason I'm pre recording this episode is I got invited with a group of African American business owners, Black women, I should say, business owners, to the White House tomorrow. So, as you're listening and seeing this live, I'm probably in the car driving back, and I didn't want to miss it because I'm traffic or what have you. And so I said to myself on the way home from church, I've got to get home and pre-record it. So you got me fresh after eating my brunch and coming on in here and writing out what I had in my head. And now I'm going to pour it into you. You ready? Got a pen, got a paper. So as you're coming in, even though this is being pre-recorded, you guys know I'm probably watching the replay either right with you or as soon as I finish driving. So I want you to do a couple things as I ask you every time you're live. Number one, tell us name and where you're from. And I do that because as you watch these, there might be a woman that lives near you that you can call and reach out to via social media, and you guys can be accountability partners. And I've heard, listen, many of my clients end up having long-term relationships, whether it's business relationships, whether they're doing business together, whether they're being accountability partners. I'll tell you about that in a second. As an alignment with our conversation for today. So, second reason is I always just like to see where people are, because you never know when I might pop up and do something in a city. So whether you're watching me live at 7 p.m. on Monday or you're watching a replay thereafter, please, by all means, comment. I read every single solitary comment. The second thing is, if I give you any value, will you like this this live? And I'm asking you to like it, not because I'm trying to grow my social media feed, but when you like it, it stays in the algorithm. And I am trying to be obedient to my own assignment and make sure that people that need this content get it. The third thing I'm going to ask you to do is, as I'm sharing with you, if I step on your toes, give me some fire emojis. If what I'm saying is good, give me some hearts. Let me know that what I'm saying resonates with you in any way that it does. All right. So we're continuing with the series, which is called Master the Marketplace. And really, it's the 10 commandments to do business the way God intended. And again, what's the commandment? When you think of the 10 commandments, what do you think? Rules that establish behavior, rules that tell you how to live in alignment with who God has created you to be. But there's rules in your business that many people don't talk about. And so I created this little 10 commandments. This is 10 commandments according to what God has poured into me, right? So if you've missed any of the episodes, because tonight is number 5, I'm going to encourage you to go back to my YouTube channel. You see it there scrolling on the screen, nrjnetwork.com. Again, my YouTube channel is nrjnetwork.com. And some of you guys are watching on YouTube, so you can scroll right over to Monday Night Live and see previous episodes, all right? So again, today is number 5, but let me give you a quick review just of what 1 through 4 are. I'm not going to deep dive into all these, but if you know me, you already know what I'm going to say. The way I teach, one builds on the next. So you need all 10 if you're going to have a successful business, if you're going to have the profit God intended for you. All right. So commandment number 1 is you must say yes to your calling. Listen, God gives us free will. He's not going to make you do anything. You've got to say yes to it. Number 2, part of saying yes to it, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. What's interesting is your faith doesn't get activated until you are in the face of fear. So how are you going to trust God if you have nothing to trust him about? Number 3, you must be a servant leader. Jesus, great example. And I gave you some other examples in that episode. And then last week we talked about you must have a singular focus. I see so many people that are trying to do too many things and they wonder why their business isn't working. They're thinking about and trying to do too much, right? So here's our conversation for part 5 in this series. You must draft a winning team. You must draft a winning team. And the thing I think is interesting, when you think about the draft, first of all, the first thing I think of, hold on, y'all, I'm getting ready to cough. The first thing I think of, let me drink a sip of water. I think I'm getting excited and I'm getting all choked up. Okay. So when I think about the draft, I think about sports. And think about what the draft means for a sports team. It's an opportunity for them to look at their weak areas and recruit a player that will enhance the team. And what's the team's goal? To win, y'all, right? Listen, this is a definition according to the internet. It's a process using sports to allocate certain players to teams. But when you think about the teams that and you see them meeting, you usually see all the players, excuse me, the executives or any team are sitting at some kind of table, and they're all strategizing and processing. They're looking at what they already have on their team, what they need, what they have and what they need, and how they can negotiate to get what they need. You with me? So, what if you realize in not just your business, but in your life, you need a winning team? Listen, Ecclesiastes 4 9 through 12 says this: two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. Again, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one be warm alone? Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. It's funny, I got caught up on that because this is New King James. There's another version that says a three-pronged cord is not easily broken. Now, here's the thing I want you to get. This is really talking about a cord, okay? So when I think about a cord, I think about a rope, right? And you guys have seen a rope, and I tried to find an example of a rope, but I have no ropes around here. But think about all the treads that are in a rope. It's usually at least three. Think about that. Okay. The more strands a rope has, the stronger the rope is. Have you realized that? So, in the same way, when you're looking at who you have working with you in your business, who you have in your life, you want to make sure you have people that are going to help you win, that are going to have the strength that you need in areas that you're weak in. And you've got to have a real conversation with yourself so that you can really begin to pull in your weak areas, right? Here's another Bible verse. And the Lord, this is Genesis 2:8. And the Lord God said, it's not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him. So we all need helpers. We all need helpers. And see, it's a team with a singular focus. That's the playbook, y'all. That win games, that makes significant contributions in this world, that have impact. That's what made the Lakers a win year after year after year after year. And by the way, I'm from Los Angeles. So in the 80s, when they were doing all those wins, and if you haven't, by the way, seen, I think it's called Dynasty. It's a series that's really good about the Lakers. And don't hate if you're not from LA, because the Lakers were winning. They were winning. But they were winning because Jerry Buss and the rest of the executives on the team kept drafting a winning team. And that team was playing from the same playbook. You know, the years when Kobe first came in and it was a little hot mess for a minute. You know why? Because it was a Kobe Bryant show. He wasn't playing from the playbook. He was thinking about himself. And I love Kobe, but I'm being keeping it real. When he shifted and started having a team focus and started looking at who is strong and who is weak and how can I play to the people's strengths, that's what a good team does. So as you're looking at who do you have around you, right? Think about it also like this: Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Countenance means mental composure, moral support. So, in this conversation, I'm going to walk you through, and I really want to encourage you to do a team assessment. I'm gonna walk you through the 6 players that everybody has to have on the team. You don't have to have every player, but you need to have some kind of mix of these people. And some of these players, you might have one person that serves 2 roles, and that's fine too. But I really want to encourage you. I'm giving you homework this episode to go get a pen if you don't have one already. Go get a pen. I want you to write out each of these players, and I really want you to take some time to assess: do you have these people on your team? You ready? Number 1, everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs somebody that they're learning from. Now, let me tell you the difference between a coach and a mentor, because so many people reach out to me and say, Nicole, will you be my mentor? And I end up having to say no. Let me tell you why. See, a mentor is someone that's going to fit you in when they can. It's someone that listen, it's usually someone that works with you or maybe 10 steps ahead of you in your career, and they're busy. And so they if you ask them for a coffee, it's gonna be 15-minute coffee, maybe once 6 months, every 6 months. And it's not gonna be scheduled. It's gonna be where you can fit in. Whereas a coach is a contractual relationship. It's saying we're going to meet every other month or every other week at this exact time, and we're working toward this result. Mentor's not working toward the result. They're going to answer your questions and done. Now, when I've had you as a client, then I can be your mentor because now I know your business and you can ask me a quick question. But many people reach out asking me to be their mentor because they don't want to invest in themselves. And why would you not invest and hire a coach? You listen, you want people to invest in your business, but you won't invest in your business, which is investing in you. Hello, somebody, come on. This is why you hear teams all the time negotiating and figuring out who they have to move around and sometimes paying and investing for that player. So again, everybody needs a coach. You need somebody that's 10 steps ahead of you that knows what you don't know, that can help you and foster you and teach you and help you implement new and different things that you need. Listen, God gave you brilliance, but He didn't give you everything. There are things you've got to gather and get in order to activate your brilliance fully and completely. That's what a coach helps you do. Number two, you need an accountability partner, somebody that holds you accountable. Listen, you set goals. And sometimes your goals get hard and you might make every excuse as to why you can't. I love my accountability partner will say, did you say you were going to do this, that, and the other? I'm like, I did. But you need that. You need someone that's going to call you on the carpet and say, this is not what you said you were going to do. What happened to your goal? What happened to that? Number three, everybody needs a counselor, somebody that will listen. There are times where you just need an ear to listen. There are times you just need somebody to just be able to pour everything out to because you have so much on you. That's number three. Number four, everybody needs a confronter. Now, you guys might call them different things. Just roll with me. You don't have to call it the same title, but hear what the title means. A confronter is somebody's going to tell you the truth. That's going to tell you the truth. I love that. As I'm saying these things, I'm thinking about the people that are on my company team. And I know that both Laveda and Demetria are going to tell me the truth. Point blank, period, whether I want to hear it or not. Everybody needs a number five, a cheerleader. This is someone that just celebrates you. Everybody needs women in their corner and or men that celebrate you, especially when you're growing. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It's not easy. And so you're going to have to stretch yourself. Remember, I told you, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You've got to be a servant leader. You got to say yes to your calling. All those things are uncomfortable. You need a cheerleader that allows you to feel seen, that says things to you like, I'm so proud of you that. Oh my goodness, I'm excited for you that you are. You've got to have a cheerleader that allows you to celebrate. Especially as African American women, we often do not stop and celebrate ourselves. We're on to the next. And we forget what we've done. We forget what we've accomplished. And this is where imposter syndrome comes up because we forget who we are. Number six, a sister friend. I couldn't remember if I said this already. That's why I paused. Sister friend. This is somebody that you could just go and have a good time with. There are times where I am so stressed out. I don't want to think about work. I just want to go and have a good, glass of wine, listen to some good music, and have a good laughing time. And I know exactly who to call for that. Everybody needs somebody that they can let their hair down with and just have a good time. Now that's your six. Again, coach, accountability partner, a counselor, a confronter, a cheerleader, and a sister friend. But there's a bonus on your team. And I always like to say that this person comes off the bench. That person is your mate. Now, the reason I say that is because every winning team does not have to have one. But if you do, you've got to make sure he understands the part that he plays. Come on, somebody. Why am I saying that? Because this is not it's not his vision, it's yours. I see so many people that say, well, my husband's not even helping me. It's not his job to help you. It's not. This is God's gift to you. Now, if he's a part of the calling, then yes. But he should support you. Difference. Now, I'll say I'm blessed to have a husband that does both, but he didn't always help me. Not because he didn't want to. That wasn't his role at the time. Well, maybe it was I wasn't ready for that to be his role. That's another conversation another time, right? But what I've learned in this thing called life, after having several relationships, some worked and well, one did. One I got a ring on it. The other ones obviously did not. I'm my husband's second wife. So he brought some lessons learned to the table, and so did I. We call what we've learned having three lives: his life, my life, and our life together. Doesn't mean that we get to cheat. I don't mean it like that. But there are things that I love to do that I will call one of my other members from my team to go do, right? Like if Tyler Perry play comes here, my husband ain't going to see that. He's not interested. But I know the girlfriend I call that will go with me, right? And go on and on. But you've got to know who he is and don't hold him to everything. There are things that I do that my husband's not included. I have girlfriends time and spa dates and things like that. That's with me and my girlfriends. My husband has his guy nights out and the cigar lounges that they go to and the things they do. But then there are things that we do that are our own, our date night Fridays. My husband actually is my best friend. So there's so many things that we do together, but there's things I don't hold him to everything. But the reason I said he comes off the bench is I know if I ever need him in any of those roles, my husband can play any of those roles. And here's the thing with a team. Every every mate, that the seventh man, is what I call him, right? Is doesn't have to play every role. But when you do need him, you need to know which of these roles that he can play in and how and when you need him. It's so important, you guys. And so I want to encourage you to take an assessment of your team. And then I want you to look at what do you need to draft for? What do you need to begin to look for? If you're going to win in this game called life, you need people that know things that you don't know, that are strong where you are weak. I love that I can call on my team. One of my team members, and I'm stop saying names, even though I said their name a few minutes ago. One of my team members is so organized. She's like such a production manager that she organizes me. And I'm highly organized, by the way. At least I thought I was. And then she had us doing our benchmarks and having us try out this new system for us to start to really time out how much of our day we spend doing each thing. That's her jam. She's great at it. Whereas I'm more of a big thinker. She is a step, get in the weeds thinker. Different. Another of my team is phenomenal at closing sales. Now, for me, I don't believe in sales. I believe in serving people. As you know, she's a servant leader. She's not ever selling you, she's serving you. And she's masterful at it because if this doesn't fit you, she can tell you what could fit you if it's not this thing. Because at the end of the day, you're on the call with us and our team because there's a need you have present. I always like to call her the doctor because she's going to find a way to give you a prescription so you can feel better. That's who she is. And that's not just who she is here in NRJ Enterprises. That's who she is as a person. And so you've got to begin to look at where are you weak and where do you need support, encouragement? Where do you need coaching, training, insight? What people are on your team and how do you grow to your next without the winning team? Listen, I always said if Jesus had disciples, that makes you think you don't need a team. And once you have a team, you've got to have plays to give your team. We'll talk about that on another episode. But you've got to really make sure that you sit. Sit like they do in NBA draft season or NFL draft season, as the big wigs do around the table, and they begin to look at all the players that they have and the areas of deficiency or the players that they can get rid of because maybe they got too much of one thing. And so they start looking at who can we get rid of so I can replace it. So important for you to have a real conversation with yourself because in this thing called life, and even dare I say, in this thing called running a business, you got to know what you need, the way you need it, and why you need it. So that's it. That's our conversation for today. That is number 5 in this 10-part series. I'll walk you through the 10 commandments of doing business the way God intended. Now, I'm going to tell you, next week I'm going to be on vacation. So I won't be here next week. We will resume on August, I think that Monday's the 5th. So you won't be surprised. And we'll finish our next 5. We'll close out the series. In the meantime, I really want you to take some time and assess where your team is and look at your draft. Look at where do you need to draft. Look at what ways you can shift to make sure your team is a winning team, because at the end of the day, God is looking for how you're producing. Talked about that last episode. All right. So with that, again, share your takeaway, share your insight, share what you're up to, what you're doing. And I'll see you on the next episode in a couple of weeks. Bye, y'all.